Greetings, friends. One of the dumbest, at the same time silliest and most insane arguments I ever heard about women having to submit to men is the argument that women are physically weaker than men. So, since they are physically weaker than men, it follows that men should protect women, and in return for that, women should submit to men. That's dumb and silly. It's dumb as hell. It is absolutely ludicrous, ridiculous. Yes, women are on average, they are physically weaker than men. However, there is vast amount of diversity and variation under this general average, and women can be found who are much stronger physically than men. Women can be found who are able to lift men up in the air. So strong they are. I'm sorry, but you are morons. Morons. I'm sorry for putting this forward. You are morons, absolute morons. So there you have it, the average. There's nothing you can do about this average. The average is just an average. The average woman is not the real woman, or not always the real woman. The average man is not always the real man. Anyway, but this is dumb as hell. Even if it was absolutely true, it is still dumb as hell. Even if it was absolutely true. Absolutely true. Even if all women were weaker than all men, it's still nonsensical. Because according to this, men who are physically weaker than other men should submit to those who are stronger. According to this, entire sapiens human populations who are on average much weaker than others ought to submit to the strongest group, which is again nonsensical and fascistic at the same time. Take the African pygmies with an average height. A male have an average height of just 1.4 meters, 1.4 meters high. Not even 5 feet high. They are much shorter, not just on average, but nearly all cases, than surrounding Bantu men. According to this, African pygmies ought to submit themselves to Bantu groups in return for protection. But this is absolutely insane. Why give up their rights? This is insane, because people do not get protection from people who are stronger. People get their protection from laws, from law enforcement, or that's how it's supposed to be, at least in theory. Anyway, we're just talking about for the sake of argument. We're just talking for the sake of argument, just to show you how moronical this is. Weak people do not get their protection from people who are stronger. They get their protection from laws. They get their protection from law enforcement. Except the USA. Except the USA. People who are weaker, physically weaker, may still find themselves in charge over people who are stronger. Stalin, for instance, was only 1 meter 0.60 centimeters high, tall, 1.6 meter tall, and yet he commanded He held command over a huge country. And in the end defeated Adolf Hitler, of course, and liberated us all. So what does this tell you? That the entire argument about physical weakness is absolute nonsense. Stalin was a physically weak man who held command over a huge area, including people who were much stronger physically than him. Okay? Oh yes, if you are physically weak and get bullied, you go to the cops. You don't go to a stronger man. You go to the cops. And trust me, a woman armed with a pistol will defeat 10 men who are armed just with clubs and fists. A woman police who is armed with just a pistol would defeat 10 or 20 men, strong men who are armed with clubs and fists. Okay? Yes, laws are the equalizer. The state authority is the equalizer. It gives protection to the weak and to the strong alike. But the biggest equalizer of them all would be women who teach themselves or are taught by others to defend, to fight back, to defend themselves. Women who are adept at boxing, kickboxing, and wrestling. Women who can defeat men in single-handed combat. Women who can single-handedly defeat men in physical combat. Yes, there are such women, and there will be more. Brace yourself for more. Brace yourself for more. More are to come. A lot of women can do this, and more are to come. More and more are coming on their way to swipe your asses. To give you a good spanking. Fear the women, fear the empowered women. Pound for pound, a woman is stronger than a man. A 60-kilo woman could defeat a 60-kilo man nearly all the time, in most cases, in nearly all cases. So you see, your whole argument flies in the face of reality. Your whole argument flies in the face of reality, is nonsensical, is moronical. Okay. You see? No sane person except a fascist would ask pygmies in Congo to submit to Bantus. Of course, no sane people except a fascist would ask a fascist of various stripes would ask a physically weak man to submit to a man who is physically stronger. But no man on earth, not even a 3-year-old kid who plays with his toys, would ask a woman who is adept at fighting to submit to a man who is not adept at fighting. Okay? What I can tell you is that in the foreseeable future, more and more women will hold their own, will stand their ground, and will stand up for themselves. Because it is a disgrace to humanity that still in the 21st century, when we are talking about AI, we are talking about returning to the moon, it's a unspeakable disgrace to the whole world that domestic violence can still be found, is still to be found, and can be found to prevail in certain countries, both Muslim and Christian countries alike. That's a disgrace, and we will fix it. Long live the women's rights. Long live the women fighters. Long live Natalia Amazonka. Long live Gabby Garcia. Screw Andrew Tate. Screw the fans of Andrew Tate. All the Andrew Tates of the world. Ha 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 ha. Bye and kiss you.